All right, got this experiment here I want to do. I have here a TV, a CRT TV. Right now I have the input on DVD input, and I have this N52 neodymium magnet. And I'm going to put this magnet on the screen, and you're going to see the typical, what you would expect. It's the electron beam coming from an electron gun. It gets the direction that the beam normally tracks is getting deflected by the magnetic field. And as you can see here, the bends here, it's typical. Everybody knows this is what happens when you put a magnet on a TV. But something different seems to happen when you put, when you change the CRT TV to channels, but not any channel, but just where it's between channels, like the white snow that you normally see on the TV. Well, when you switch it to that, you see something totally, because just right now, everything's stationary now. None of these lines are moving. They're just stationary. But when you change it to white noise, you get these lines moving really, really fast on the screen. And I believe that is the magnetic field or the flux lines of this magnet, because if I pull this magnet away, you just got white static, and if I put it back, you get these flux lines. And my hypothesis is, because I'm probably going to try to do a peer review on this, is that I believe the tuner inside of the CRT TV is gathering electromagnetic frequencies, whatever frequency that it encounters. And I think in that those frequencies get translated to the electron gun, which is translated to the electron beam, which I think is vibrating at a frequency that is resonating with the magnetic field, for a magnetic field and the flux lines of this permanent magnet. I'm going to change the direction of this magnet real quick, and you may see something that you may even be familiar with. If you can kind of tell, you may see something coming out the front. Like if you ever seen magnets, a magnet on a sheet of paper and they have metal filings, you'll see like these lobes. So you'll see, like, if you look really close, you'll see lobes running this way, and you'll see lobes running this way. So normally magnetic fields exit out of the north pole of a magnet and it re-enters back in the south pole, and it's continuous. Now, in the textbooks, they say that this magnetic field is stationary, but what I'm seeing here, I'm kind of somewhat willing to challenge that, because you literally see these flux lines here. And to me, this is, and you see the rushing out here, and you can see where they divide and go that way, and they divide and come out that way. One's coming out clockwise, and one's coming out counterclockwise, back to the backside of the magnetic field. So I'm going to also, there's another thing, there's some characteristics that you know about magnets. Is if you, I'm going to go ahead and put the magnets back this way here. So normally you take two magnets and you put them next to each other. If the poles, if they're the same poles, if the North Pole, the magnets will repel each other. And if you have a North Pole and a South Pole, the magnets will be attracted to each other. And when they're attracted to each other, the flux lines, the magnetic flux lines of that magnet actually merge into the other magnet, and you will actually see that on this setup I have here. So I have another magnet, which I'm going to take this off real quick, and I'll just let you see the magnetic field for this magnet. You can see the lines kind of going around the magnet really quick. I'll just hold it there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these magnets on, I got a little piece of stickered paper here, well, like adhesive tape here to kind of hold it in place. So when I put the other magnet next to it. Okay, so as you'll see, there's a flux line moving along the magnet right here. Okay, and what's going to happen is, depending on which face this magnet is facing, right now the North Pole or the South Pole is facing the surface of the screen here. And what's going to happen is when I put this magnet, when this pole, I guess it's when it's both poles are facing, if a North Pole and a North Pole, or a South Pole and a South Pole are both facing the CRT surface, you're going to see that the magnetic field won't mesh. They'll kind of repel each other, and I'll kind of point that out. So let me go ahead and show this now. So right now, I'm trying to get here so these magnets, I don't want them to hit each other. So right now, you have two magnets that, and if you see these black spots right here, they won't merge together either. And you'll see between here, you'll see the lines, flux lines are actually kind of running against each other. And obviously these two dark black spots, they won't merge together. But you'll see the spinning kind of coming together, but you won't. If you look and put my finger here, right between here, you'll actually see these lines running really quick, but they won't merge. But when I change the face of this magnet to the point where both magnets are one's facing north and one's facing south, you're going to see these black lines here merge with the black lines from this magnet. So I'm going to, not right now, both fields should be one's north and one's south, and you can literally see these flux lines here at the top merging with the other magnet. Not the black spots also kind of identify that too, but you can see these black lines going across the screen because now the magnetic fields have merged. But if I flip it back over, they don't merge. And this is the same thing you would expect with a magnetic field. You know, with a magnet, permanent magnets, or if you had metal filings, you would get the same result. You will see, and I'll probably link some videos of a guy that actually did an experiment showing metal filings and how the magnetic fields, like poles, repel each other, and unlike poles or poles that are not the same will actually attract. So right between here, you can literally see these lines, flux lines running against each other, but they won't merge. There's no merging across the top here. I'll flip this face over, and you can literally see across this top here. Not only do you see this black spot here, but you can see these lines going across really quick. Now, the flux lines, you're going from north to south or south to pole. North to south or south to north. You can see the flux lines actually merging. So basically, I do believe what you're seeing is the magnetic field. I'm going to go ahead and, if I can pull this off and put it back in the center, you can really get a good view. But what you're seeing here is the magnetic field. And not only that, if I change these magnets around, if I change this pole around, because right now it's probably facing north, I'm going to change turn the magnet around and pay attention to these areas that was really bunching up really quick here. I'm going to flip it over, and you're going to notice that now it's on this side now of the screen. So I think I believe the poles, either north or south, I think they turn in different directions. One relative to each other. One is probably turns clockwise, and the other pole counterclockwise. And like I said earlier, I put, let me see, I'm trying to get, oh yeah, you'll see this, like I mentioned here earlier, the pole's coming out. And if I turn this magnet around, as you may see it sounds like it's coming out of that end. I'll let that sit there for a second. I'm going to turn the magnet around, and you're going to see that this north pole is going to switch over to this side. I'm just going to flip it upside down. I'll flip it on the other way. And now you can see the magnetic field coming out of the north, going back into the south pole of the magnet. And you can see this top lobe doing the same thing. You have to look really close. And I'm probably going to try to edit a little bit to make the lines a little more easier to see. But this is definitely the magnetic flux lines of this magnet. I'm certain of it. And the reason why this is so important, because, you know, if you read the textbooks, they say that the magnetic field is, what's the term you use? They said it doesn't have a frequency, and it's just a stationary field. And I know that sometimes when particles are in the vicinity of a magnetic field, they'll normally curve the particle. But what's happening is curving and going right back into the magnetic field. And magnetic particles such as electrons, normally when they come toward a magnetic field, they bend away. It's such as like in the center here, the beam has been diverted away from the magnet due to the field. But at some point, there's something that's resonating within this static. And I don't know if it's the frequency of the electrons or something, but it's resonating with the magnetic field of this magnet. And you're literally seeing the magnetic flux lines of this permanent magnet.